Well, hell, that seems like a good way to start a stream every time we talk about The Last of Us.
Isn't it?
For a second, I thought you took like a vow of silence. I'm like, what is happening right now?
No, I did not take a vow of silence. I was just finishing another conversation.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome everybody to The Last of Us episode 3. I didn't do this morning because I just watched the
Because you
episode
didn't watch
this
it yet.
morning. I watched
I
it
just
this
got done
morning.
watching it not too long ago.
Yeah, so I'm glad that I waited until later because you didn't even watch the episode. Maybe we both forgot about it. What's up, Terry? Welcome. So,
Hello, Carrie.
yeah, I wanted to open by saying that was a pretty gay episode.
Very, very gay.
but
Super gay.
but
Nothing's ever been gayer. Well, I mean,
but
yeah,
that
there
does
has been.
not mean that it was not good to the point. Okay, full disclosure, I fucking got emotionally crushed at the end of this episode. And it's
Oh,
okay. So,
maybe a little bit.
oh yeah, yeah. You have to be heartless not to. First off, it's telling of how good of writers these people are. Let me give you guys context if you don't know. You never played the video game. Um, Bill is a very side character. There's a level in, I believe it's chapter 3 called Bill's Town, where you go through his town that he's trapped, and you got to get to Bill, and uh, Bill and uh, Bill meets Joel and Ellie, and he actually hates Ellie. The show went a completely fucking different direction, and I'm gonna say right now, this is probably one of the major changes of this season from what I hear. The rest of it's from everyone who saw it. The rest of it stays very faithful to the first game, but this is a big change, and I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot better than the game because in the game, Bill is an irredeemable asshole. Frank actually commits suicide to get away from Bill, and their relationship ends badly because of that, but it works for the game because the game is very fucking bleak. This is still bleak, but there's been a theme about protecting people, protecting the people you love, and I think that in the context of the story they're telling for the show, this episode works perfectly. And holy fuck, the range on Nick Offerman. Who knew Ron Swanson could be gay and still be manly? Like, they pull off this whole thing very, very well. This is probably the best. Uh, this is probably the best. How do I put this without the censors getting upset? No, this is probably the best love story between the same sex I've seen done in a very, 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 very long time. And here's the thing that's interesting about this. And PB, we call this out all the time. They don't exactly shove that in your face. It's just part of the story that they're telling. There's not like overly anything, whilst it is, you go, oh yeah, this is about two gay people being together, but at the same time, it's like not announced. You don't feel like you're being bombarded with gay is cool, blah blah blah. It's two people who found each other in the apocalypse, and they
Skeptical. They didn't find each other. One guy fell into another man's hole.
okay, we'll say I just set you up for that. I knew there was going to be a lot of great jokes to say, and
I don't know if
as
there's going to be a lot of great ones, but sometimes they just come to you.
but in this sense, honestly, the normal geeks and gamers were out saying, "Oh, this is the turning point," and I was like, "No, oh, hello there, this Lady Blood Moon," because I don't want to dox anybody I know, although they probably dox themselves. So But yeah, this was
Like
done.
who docks themselves? Lady Blood Moon? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
unless
she's cool.
I have other kids I don't know about, in which case that would be awkward. Um, but no, I thought this was done very well. So let's go to the beginning first because there's two fucked up moments in this episode,
Only
and
two.
well, at least yeah, for myself. Like oh wow, kind of heart jerking. Also, kind of like makes you kind of think. The first moment, hey Carmen, what's up? The
Oh,
first,
Carmen.
the first one, and I want to get your thoughts on this because I know the reality behind this, and I want you to kind of weigh in if you think this would happen. But that scene where Ellie is talking to Joel, this is before they flash back in time to Nick Offerman's character Bill, but when they're walking and she goes, "Oh, you got to be in an airplane, you got to actually fly and stuff," and she's making a big deal, and then he's explaining what happened in the beginning of the quarantines, and was that not kind of chilling? And just the way they showed it with the hole with all the bodies in it, and you see the kid and the lady, and then
Hey,
they
hey.
choose to do the flashback.
Dead people. Dead people can't get infected.
You know what? It makes sense. It should be done, but the show,
Culling? Random culling? Is that what random culling should be done? You're like, well, you could get infected. We ain't got enough resources, so pop, pop.
I
Problem
mean,
solved.
I mean,
What a military hero you are, Zod. What?
here's the realistic part of it, right? At
I
that
guess
time,
Kryptonians are immune to fungi, right? Sure.
they didn't know who was immune, who wasn't, and they had a certain amount of people that they could shelter.
Pop, pop.
Uh, and so it might not be right. It's kind of a fucked up way to look at it, but you have to
Only kind
kill
of
the
again.
few. You got to kill the few to save the many. I don't know. I mean, to
I think you
me,
had that backwards. I think it was more like kill the many to save the few.
I mean, how many people
They're like,
actually
we can
did get
handle a world population of 4,000 people.
I mean, two, you got to think smaller population, less to get infected. I mean, I'm just saying. Maybe that's the General Zod dictator side of me. And like, yeah, I'm 100% behind this. That's how I run. I'm General Zod, people. Of course, I'm with the
Villain
population.
extraordinaire.
So we get that first chilling scene where you see the bodies in the halls, and I
It's pretty
like
morbid.
Bella Ramsey and her acting in this. How she looks down at it, and she's heard about these things, right? But it's that moment, and I think it does a very good job too, especially with kids and stuff. Like they got these things built up in their head of how the world is, and
Did you
then they
fly
see it.
on one of those?
Yeah, and then they see it, and they're like, "Oh," like it sets in. She's like, "Wow, all these people just got fucking shot." It's one of those. It's one of those things where, it's pretty
Hello,
good.
Sean.
Hey, Sean, it's pretty good character development of like breaking the illusion of what a child builds in their mind versus the reality of what they're actually like the world, what they're going through. And it's like, yeah, you have all of these stories and you've heard all of these things, and they go to school. I don't know what the fuck they're teaching at school now. Like, what's the fucking point of school in the apocalypse? But anyways, that's not the point, right?
To teach people not to go into the forest.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is like, don't go in here, don't go in here, and here's how you shoot a weapon. Good luck, kids. But
Can I get a gun?
yeah, she was like harp about that gun. But you know what? I'm gonna say right now, I agree with her. Like, she
Yep.
should have a gun. She should be trained on how to use the gun. It is an apocalypse. This is not a time not to teach kids not to use or how to use guns. Like, this is the time where you show them gun safety. You don't want a bunch of little Alec Baldwins running around.
Oh,
You want
spoiler warning.
so
Sorry.
yes, it was pretty good.
It was bone chilling, especially at night.
It was bone chilling.
Get it? It's bones in a hole. It gets cold at night and chilly.
Yes, it gets really chilly.
No, she didn't. Ugh.
Hey, who says I just didn't want to do that anyways? Narcissistic. Anyway, so they get past this thing. They go into the store. We get to see a little bit of maybe do we want to call that like curious? They go into this convenience store. She goes off on her own, finds this little hole in the ground, and she kind of like okay. I don't want to say it's like a psychotic thing. I took it as more morbid curiosity. How did you take that scene where she like cut the infected and then stabbed him? It was almost like she was trying to understand how they work.
I thought she was just being a fucked up kid for a moment.
I mean, but kids do that shit too. It's not like you're a psychopath if you're doing something like that. And technically, these things are already dead. I mean, they're alive fungus, but
No, you have to be alive. No, nothing's dead. It's like a parasite.
So
the mushroom has taken over.
Yeah, so essentially, I wouldn't consider it like, oh yeah, she's like psychopath because it's some person. It's not. It's this fungus thing.
Yeah, a person don't feel. It's not like a Goa'uld. You don't feel the pain inside, right? Is there any point in the game where they're like, oh my god, all of these people have been feeling pain. Terrible pain.
No, I think it's more of if you hurt it after it's taken over, it feels it. Like with the, well, in the game it isn't tendrils, but there is like a form of connection. So they do, if you hurt the organism, but us, fuck no. They're just like, oh, well, gotta invade this host body. Good luck.
Yeah.
So
Mate, I don't know about the game obviously, but I'm hoping that we like start coming across some creatures.
Yes, and it's definitely going to be next episode because I know that scene they show. Yeah. So we're in for
Hello, Sherry.
Hello, Sherry. I do like these character pieces. So finally, we get a flashback, and we've got a lot to talk about because I personally really love this, and I didn't expect to be on board with a gay love story, but this proves Hollywood, media people out there who are always crying representation, like you can get heterosexual men and women to watch a show about gay people if you write it good. It's not shoved in your face, but you can't help but to get attached to these two and feel emotions for them because of how they set everything up. First off, let's talk about the fucking MVP of this episode, Nick Offerman. I swear to God, if he doesn't get nominated for something, then well, we already know the system's rigged, but then it's really fucked. No point in watching the Emmys. I'm just gonna say it right now. I think this is an Emmy performance, hands down, man. He carries the emotion.
He's not going to be in any other episodes.
But that doesn't matter. You could still get.
You get an Emmy for one episode for what? What's that Emmy called?
No, I mean, yeah.
Is that like the Emmy for fucking Off for an Afternoon?
I mean,
no, it had to take him a while to make this episode. There's a lot of different scenes going on.
Oh yeah, and that doesn't mean that we won't get more flashbacks of them or whatever, because we do get to see Tess again in this episode. So let's dive into this first off.
The way they showed that scene in the trailer was tricky, clever.
Yeah, it was.
Or in the next time, because they made it seem like it was happening right now.
Yeah, I like the way they've been promoting it too, to where they're not giving anything away. Like, this show does so many things right.
So many.
So many. So, first off, what did you think about the character
Oh,
Bill?
I
Because
didn't
I'll
think.
tell
I
you.
just watched it and enjoyed. Oh, wow. Oh. You want me to think about? You want me to talk about Bill?
Yeah, we'll take each character individually, and then we'll kind of talk about their relationship as a whole. That fucking gut wrenching ending,
Dude, Bill is
and
my kind of prepper. As soon he's like watching the cameras, and then he waited like what, an hour, and then he popped out and was like, "Fuck all y'all," and then he got to work.
dude, that is the guy you
Got
want
to
to know.
work.
We
Fuck.
need prepper friends because that guy sectioned off a whole fucking town, and the way they showed it was real, not only realistic, but it made sense. Where you're sitting there and going, man, in these apocalypse shows, why
Like,
don't they show this shit?
how much can you do in a day? Because for a while, like I don't know how long, if you're the only person left in town and everything was left there, like you just start piling up, spaghettios and cans of soup and shit like that. You can last on that shit for quite a while before you want to even start growing your own carrots. Like that was the first thing that he pulled out of the ground that they showed, but that was like a couple of years down the road. So you could just build your fortress the entire time and live off canned food.
Yeah, and I think that was the gist we were getting at. I love the first stop he makes is fucking Home Depot.
with
Just
his
so he's
with his, his boat with his boat. I was like, why the
with
fuck is
his
he getting a
boat.
boat? He's like, oh, it's a ready-made trailer for putting shit in. We're good to go.
That like
I was like,
everything they
nobody else. He was in a fancy neighborhood. If nobody in the neighborhood had like a regular trailer that could hold more stuff.
I am shocked that nobody else in the neighborhood thought about that. They were like, "Oh yeah, the government's gonna save us." They're like, "Yeah, get in this truck. Go look at the flowers."
Back to that ditch over there.
Yeah, just keep on look at the flowers. Look, anybody who
Okay,
watched
everybody
Walking Dead
out. We got to make our way across the field here. If you just want to head that way in a completely unorderly fashion. In fact, if you could stand and walk shoulder to shoulder, that would be great. Move out.
like but
Holy
the
fuck.
one guy, and he was probably that guy in the neighborhood where they're like, that Bill guy's weird. Nobody, yeah, just nod and wave, honey,
Well,
nod and
he's the
wave.
only
Hey
person who's
Bill.
got like the high def cameras for his CCTV setup.
But so that was done pretty well. Now we get to the part where Bill has put some fucking awesome traps together. I love the one where they show that affected thing and it just starts walking and then it hits the little tripwire and there's a gun on the side and it shoots him right in the head. He doesn't like, even his trap placement is fucking phenomenal. Like, he gauged head level and put a fucking gun there. Like, not that bullshit. Like, oh, there's a little hole or something like that. He had those. He had fucking every kind of trap. But he had ones where it's like, yeah, there's a gun straight to your head, boom, dead. And I love how he's sitting there laughing as the thing gets killed. It's like, that never gets old. I was fucking rolling. I'm like, I need a friend like Bill.
So what? Did somebody like leave the little tester behind or what? Like, how did he get that?
I Well, that is pretty true to
Because that is some
actual real life
high
because
value technology right there. High value technology.
like that's true to real life though because I even knew some people who were survivalist, we'll say, and they had shit where it was like, dude, how the fuck do you have like a hazmat kit and everything, and this is like,
Well, I mean,
and they're,
that's all
oh
the
yeah, don't worry
specialized
about
tools
it.
that the government was using. I don't think that they were just passing those out to like every company and being like, "Oh, test your people to see if they're fungus or not."
No, I mean, and they showed it later, so I'm gonna assume maybe he took it off
Have
of
we like we don't see in this episode? There's like hardly any zombies or whatever the fuck you want to call them. We're just gonna call them zombies because it's easiest. So you don't see hardly any of them in this episode. Do we ever see in any of these episodes a full transition from how long it takes from the time you get bit to how long you're overtaken?
I mean, they've given clues and hints, but even in the game, they don't get into real specific details. I'm
Like
actually
we
would
saw
be
Tess
interested.
get bit, and then she continued on for at least a few hours. I don't know about several hours, but at least a few hours.
Yeah, I think in the game it's vague. I don't want to spoil anything, but there is a thing at the end of the game that fully explains everything. So I wonder if they're saving it for that, because I know with the way they're doing it, if it's just shot for shot, it's going to shock a lot of people. But yeah, the end really dives in, and then you get to see not only how long it takes, but you get to see different people at different stages.
So in the game, you only encounter Bill as an old man?
Yeah, it kind of jumps right to him. You see the picture by my face. You jump to when he's like that old, and
so
him and
in the game, he just killed his husband.
No, the husband killed himself to get away from him.
Oh.
So yeah, their relationship is completely swapped. And I'll be honest with you, I like the swap because everybody loves Bill, but we were all curious.
Well, yeah.
And they never.
Mr. Neal said that if they can do it better, they will, but they will never do it worse. Have they done it worse yet?
As a person who played through the game and continuing, I'm going to say no. Actually, this adds a lot more context to the game, which is crazy to think. Like, now I replay that section and go, oh man, you guys could have had like a good 20 years together. But no, it feels like this is where games have to keep everything concise, right? It'd be boring to play through Bill's life and being happy and stuff. Nobody wants to do that when you're fucking playing a game. You want to get to the parts where you're avoiding traps and killing the zombies and stuff like that. But in TV format, they're doing a great job of being like, okay, we like this character. Oh, she is doing well. They're doing a great job of being like, we liked this character. Now we're going to show you what made them, or can use it to connect to the whole theme of what they're trying to do. And what's really important is they're keeping the essence of the story. So it's not anything that's detracting or purposely taking away from the overall tell that they're trying to tell. So we get to Frank, who falls into the hole Bill dug. That'll never get old. And so we see a big contrast, and Bill's a quiet, reserved guy, kind of doomsday prepper, good with guns and all that stuff, and Frank is clearly the one better at communication. And so when he first meets him,
you don't say.
Bill does the test thing, and Frank manages to talk. He's like, look, I just want to get something to eat. I'll be on my way. He's like, I like how he worded, like, Bill was like, you can't tell anybody because then there's going to be a bunch of people who thinks this is an Arby's. And he's like, Arby's was
the restaurant. They didn't give out free lunches, which is beautiful. Yeah. It was in the preview, and it was still funny.
Yeah, it was a great line. And then you see them eating, and Bill's got some damn good cooking skills, and that's also in the game too.
Right, like the answer to, like, he meant to say Salvation Army, not Salvation Army. We're not giving out free lunches here.
Yeah.
Not friggin' Arby's. What up, pups?
I took that as the awkward kind of thing, and you could tell there's a little bit of chemistry there. We'll skip over all of the other parts. Needless to say, they get together.
Carrie was like, "What's going on here?" And I was like, yeah, he's letting him shower because he's got the hots for him." She's like, "Wait a second, he didn't even want to let him inside the fence, and now he's all the way into the shower." I was like, "Yeah."
And I mean, to be fair, man, it's the apocalypse, okay? You never know how much time you got. So
he didn't even used to be gay.
Yeah.
A long time ago, with a woman.
And I like.
Why are you skipping over all the best parts of the episode, Zod? Does it make you uncomfortable? Because I'll tell you this: I've seen plenty of gay scenes in Game of Thrones. right? They're
No,
all.
actually, no. I'll have you know, and I've probably said this a few times to you
Oh my
and on
God.
multiple streams. One of my favorite movies was Brokeback Mountain. I don't fucking care how gay that movie was.
Okay,
Great
if
love
you'd let
story.
me make my point then, instead of like trying to make my point midway, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. This was uncomfortable intentionally.
Yeah, yeah. It
Like,
was
it
there.
had nothing to do with the sexuality of the people involved, or the gender of the people involved, or anything like that. It had to do with these two people met each other like what, less than a day ago.
Less than a day, and
Less
you're
than a
waiting.
day in the apocalypse.
And the uncomfortable thing is you're waiting because my mind went to, okay, they're changing it from the game. Maybe Frank is going to betray Bill after he helped him or something. I thought that was the direction it was going in. So I was pleasantly, uh, my expectations were pleasantly subverted because it totally did not go in the direction that I thought whatsoever, which is good for people who have the knowledge of the game and watch this. And we can't predict everything. So that feels good because if I could know everything that's coming, then what is the point of the television show, right? And that's a thing I've seen a
I
lot of.
mean, the point of the television show at that point is like Neil Druckmann is having a like wet fantasy here. He's like, oh my god, we made a video game and now these people are bringing it to life and making it look real, and it's amazing.
No. I mean, I'm
But I get
saying,
what you're saying by
yeah,
you want to like this doesn't change anything in the overarching story, but it lets you
exactly.
tell a different story inside of the show without affecting anything.
Exact. Wow, that was surprisingly well worked. It's a new year. We're professional here. Even PB. He just. John Campea, take
50-50.
notes. PB's gunning for Campea's spot.
And oh my gosh, the emotional weight. Whew. This episode, I tell you what a gem.
So,
Love it.
uh, we get past the bonded part, and I want to talk about. I love the little argument that they have. It was hilarious. So they're going outside, and Frank is like, and we're gathering what? How much time passed after that? Like 3 years, because they were doing it, and it kept on jumping more and more. But it was like a 3 year
Yeah,
gap,
that
and
well, I mean, that wasn't like it was like 3 or 4 or 5. I think what at the end they did the full 10 years. So the thing it went from 2013 to 2023.
yeah. So it was like they did this nice little gap, and he's like, I love it. I love the little disagreement. And Frank goes out, and he's like, I want to open up the boutique. I want to like repaint the house. And Bill has the reaction
I
that
want to
any
cut the
dude.
lawn.
Yeah, Bill has the reaction like, this is the fucking apocalypse. We're not reopening shit. Who are we painting this for?
Yep.
like, like, we're not gonna have guests, guy.
No, we're gonna make friends.
And he's like, we are gonna make friends. I'm not gonna lie, like this was really an emotional roller coaster because I was chuckling, going like, oh my god, I can relate. But it's like, no, he it showed the contrast between Bill and Frank because Frank was about living your life the most, even though this world is fucked up, but living their life to the fullest because they could still live and make something of the life that they have in this world, where Bill was just about surviving every single day. And I think also too that's what makes their relationship work because Bill's very uh realistic, kind of serious, get shit done, put up the fences, make sure the traps are set, watch the fucking cameras. And Frank's like, let's go to the store and shop. So they have a good, they have like a good, they have like a good balance. And it really is like, it keeps them on an even kill. And I really liked how they like went through that and they showed it. And then we get to my favorite part. And it's like after they have this fight, and he goes, well, fine. I invited some people over. He goes, wait, what?
I've been talking to a really nice lady on the radio.
and then walks away, and I was like, oh boy,
What?
man, those.
You
So I
do
love.
what?
So then enter Joel and Tess, and this is a deviation from the game, but I thought this made more sense once again in connecting the story because we don't get this in the game because we know Joel knew Bill, but they never explained how they met, and I like that in the show. They actually show you him meeting with Tess, and I love. This is probably yeah, I'd have to say this is one of my favorite scenes. We'll get to my favorite scene, but this is like probably my second favorite scene when Bill and Joel meet each other. And Bill's sitting there and they have a nice little spread
Hold
going
on,
on.
gun on the table. Gun on the table.
Gun,
Like, I don't trust
gun
you,
on the
motherfuckers.
table.
Oh, why? You better not make any fast. Eat that meat slow. Because they're gay.
And I loved how Joel handles it, very cool because you realize Bill and Joel are actually very similar in the way they see the world. And it was kind of cool because Frank and Tess were mirrors of each other, and Bill and Joel are mirrors of each other. So Joel's like, after the two of them walk away, he's like, I get it. I'd feel the same way. He like, he's like looking at him like, bitches, am I right? And they're all talking to the side, making like little secret meetings they're gonna have. And Bill and Joel are just like, I don't like you. I don't like you either, but get your fucking gun out of my face. Like, I love that. And he was like, all right. I respect this guy. Puts his gun away, and they just like sitting there, kind of eating and staring at each other. And I was like, eh, I thought it was such a great interaction, and it explains A, how they're going to come back to this point, and B, this gives us context to the game because now we know, or we can have it in our head canon that like, hey, this dinner happened, and that's how they all like met and got to know each other. Because in the game it's implied he did a favor for them, and that's how you meet up with him in the game. So I think they really did a great job deviating but having it make sense. And so um, they decide to do the trading thing, and he's like, I can get you better wire. He's like, looks at it and says like, you got like a year or two before that wire gets rusted and corrodes or whatever. I'll get you this other wire he was talking about. I'm not like hardware inclined or anything, but it's supposed to be better and it lasts him longer. So he won Bill over. Bill's like, oh yeah, I could use some new wires. What else we got? Yeah, I could get you this, get you that. Yeah, yeah. So they're building a little relationship. We also find out that was the codes from the radio. Bill was the guy he was talking to on the radio and had the full code book for. That was their code for communications. So it was a nice little throwback to the first episodes as well to explain who he was talking to and what the codes meant. So I really liked that too. Yeah.
It's the same as the gate, but in reverse. I was like, well, what's the point of putting it in reverse? Like, especially if you put it in the letter.
Perp trolling us, the last of see, Perp, I disagree, but whatever. So, I thought it was pretty cool. So we get towards the end, and they skip like 10, 20 years. They aged up Nick Offerman very convincingly.
Oh my god, that was pretty good. I was like, fuck, man, like, you're definitely in your 70s. You might be like doing a full Biden here.
And then no, I disagree.
He's old.
I don't think it was Matt. I think
What's this guy saying?
This is called character building, Perp. It's something they don't do, and they actually did a decent gay relationship. Look, you know what? I'll send you a link if you want to talk about this. But anyways, uh, so they age him up, and I gotta say, this was the part where they were going to hit the fields, and oh boy, some soul crushing stuff happens. And that's the interesting thing about this, because the game is the same way. They present something kind of happy, give you a break, and then when you play on, they crush your fucking heart and soul as you play through the game.
Well, you know, to each their own.
So the two of them wind up, I assume, the town's looking good, everything's being upkept, and we find out Frank has a disease and he is in a wheelchair. Bill is still taking care of him. They kind of give us a show. It's hard for him to, uh, you couldn't skip this character. You couldn't skip this episode and not miss out on stuff. There's tons of stuff that this explains. Never mind. I forgot you haven't played the game. So, yeah.
Oh, he's like me, hey?
This will come back later. But anyways, so they're a bit older.
I think there's going to be some stuff that pops up that was very pivotal in this episode. Like,
no, I don't see.
I compound, don't they?
Oh, I can't. Yeah, I'm chewing. The game version was impactful, yes, but for what they were going for in the game, for the show, it doesn't work because the way they've set everything up is a little bit different than the game. I know I'm playing through it again, so I own the game. I've played it multiple times. I'm playing it currently now and following along with the show. So yeah. Anyways, so this is probably the saddest scene I think we'll see in this season. I don't know. There's another scene that I believe that they'll show, but
Okay, so now my question for you is, like, are you gonna be the murderer, or are you gonna be the one committing suicide?
oh boy.
Because Nick Offerman murdered the guy who wanted to commit suicide. He's like, I'm too much of a pussy to crush this up myself, which, no, he's not. He literally can't do it. Like, it's not that he couldn't, like, kill himself. He's like, but this is the way that I can go out easy. Could you just crush these up and show me that you love me one last time? He's like, sure, I could do that. And he pounds that drink, and I was like, oh, that was the worst tasting wine you ever drank in your entire life. And then there's a moment of silence. You spiked the bottle, didn't you? Enough to kill a horse.
and so yeah, he spiked the bottle, and they had their last day, and they go out dying. And I'm not gonna lie, like, a couple things got me in this. One was when Frank was talking about that he wanted one last day to live, and he started going through all of the things, and Nick Offerman starts to get teared up, but he's doing that half-ass. He's trying not to cry, but the tears are coming out. And I was sitting there going, "Oh my God!" Like, God, Bill, I feel you. And then the second part is the note. Oh my God,
the note.
The note was really fucking sad. And no, Perp, there's more that this is going to link to. I'm not going to say anything, because if it's in the show, then I would have spoiled it, and if it's not in the show, then it's irrelevant. Anyways, so they go to this town. Joel and Ellie, it goes back to present day, and he talks about how he never really liked him, but he understood where he was coming from, and he obviously respected him. And the line where he's like, he found his purpose, and he found out what he was supposed to do, and he says that him and Joel are protectors. Their role is to protect the people that they love. And, hold on to that. Then he mentions Tess, and I go, oh! And even Ellie was reading the note, and she's like, okay, Joel said don't mention Tess, so she just hands him over the note. And he goes outside, and Pedro Pascal's acting, like, I don't think we're surprised at this point, but holy fucking shit was it good, especially that moment when he goes outside, and he's not crying, but you can tell
Oh yeah.
I fucking
No,
feel.
I feel like at this point in the apocalypse, he's out of tears, but I bet he musters some before the end of the series.
Oh my god, like, dude, it was a tears, but it was just like that look, like, oh man, wish I got this note sooner. like, like he like, you could tell it really hit him, and little Ellie found herself a gun. Good for her. Stashed it away. You know what? I was all for Ellie in that scene. I was like, you know what? Fuck him. If he's not going to show you how to use a gun, you just go ahead and grab it. Practice. Anybody can get good. For the love of God, don't pull an Alec Baldwin. But whatever. Um, but yeah. I need more violence. It's severely lacking in these last 3 episodes. I mean, Pedro's not doing anything new. He's just playing a babysitter again. What? Oh my god! Now I know he's trolling me. Anyways, so yeah, they go and they get the stuff. They charges up the battery. She figures out the codes because she sees the radio, and they start playing the song that Bill played on the piano in the beginning of the episode, and they drive off. And now to Perp, who is impatient and loves violence, which I don't blame him. I do like gore and horror or survival horror, thriller, whatever you want to put this under. The next episode, I guarantee you, will be bloody because I know the scene that they're setting up for. And just seeing the preview, it is pretty much shot from the scene in the game. So, yeah, next episode's probably going to have a lot of people being murdered. We'll get to see the darker side of Joel and why he's feared in this world amongst people. Because he's he gets pretty violent. Like, he's a pretty quiet, reserved guy, but when shit goes down, we've seen that in episode 2, but I think the next episode's really going to hit home what kind of person Joel is. Like, he does not give a fuck.
Some violence.
Yeah, because you saw that preview where he was like, "Put your seatbelt on," and I go, "Ah!" I remember this scene. It's one of the big action set pieces in the game. So I'm really curious to see how they're going to translate it, because in the game it's a whole level that you play through. I imagine they're probably going to cut it down, but the setup that they have with the person coming out and saying "help me," that's exactly from the fucking game. Like, beat for beat, down that alley, the person coming out, like, it's all, and even the dialogue he says is like the game. But Joel and Ellie are safe, at least Joel is, until season 2. Well, we don't know what they're gonna hope. I'm hoping they change a lot of shit from the part 2 of The Last of Us, because oh boy, like, I can get behind the Abby thing if they explain it better. Like, if they set the character up and fix the writing mistakes from the game and flesh it out, I think if you got a decent actress who was likable and you explain why she's pissed, I think it will have more impact than playing the game for like 10, 15 minutes as your favorite character, getting to a spot, him doing something stupid, and then Abby going golfing on his head. So, yeah. But so far,
did you just say going golfing on his head?
Yes. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, the Last of Us Part 2, they kill Joel in like the first, I want to say 20, 30 minutes of the game, and then to make it better, you get to play as the person who murdered him for a good hour of the game before it switches back. So that was fun. I love playing the person
in the game you get to play as who?
As the person who murders Joel.
Why?
Because I don't know, Neil Druckmann is a masochist, and thinks that we want to do that shit. I honestly don't know. It was the most baffling move I ever seen.
What a weirdo.
No, you know what, Perp? I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna be one of the people who drops the show. If they keep on doing good with what they're doing, then I'm not going to be one of those people because we've seen it. So let's talk about, before we get to talking about the little nuances in our reviews, and Perp pissed me off enough to bring up this point because he's absolutely right. Did you go around and see what Geeks and Gamers are saying about everything?
I saw a thumbnail.
Yeah, it says everything is gay.
No, the one that I seen was just a picture of the two cowboys hugging each other.
Yeah, and on the bottom it says everything is gay.
Oh, I guess I didn't see that part. I was just like, oh, I know what you think about the episode now because you're some, I don't know, like, it's like he is and he is not a homophobe. And I was like, I don't understand this guy. Like, like, we're watching the same thing here, and there's something like,
yeah,
is there something wrong with this? You see something wrong here? Because
like,
there was nothing wrong with it being uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable because of where they met each other in the world.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable.
And when, really? Because what? He's never had a gay sexual experience until what? They're in their 40s minimum.
And the thing that pisses me off about this, and this is where, even though we joke around, and I know Perp trolls me, whatever, Perp, I see you, but Perp brings up valid points. Like, we could sit there and debate about those points. Like, those are valid. Like, I thought it was slower. There wasn't as not. You even said there weren't even as many zombie things. Those points I get. What I don't get is, oh my God, they mentioned gay people. This show is fucking going downhill. The ratings are gonna drop. It's a catastrophe. It's like, no. The new numbers came out. The first episode was 2.2 million. It rose to 5.7 million.
I need to be upset for the gay people because it's like, wait a second, you finally introduce some gay characters and then you kill them off immediately. Where's the representation? Come on.
Like, I even get that point. What I don't get is, oh, because we're showing gay people. Yeah, like, Perp, I've seen your video.
They
I
exist.
Heard your overall
Hey,
issues.
Bloop. I heard a bloop.
Yo.
I know Perp's mad because we haven't gotten to the black representation yet.
It's Perp 23. Go check out PurpMinded. He's got a review on The Last of Us.
So, what are we talking about? Episode? Yeah.
Yeah, we've done every episode.
I like the episode's cool, but the more I think about it, it's like a lot of that shit was just like really pointless. I didn't really need to see all that. Like, it would be cool if we like jump from like Joel and Ellie, then we go to them and stuff, and just like it was getting interesting with the whole Joel and Ellie, where, like, Joel's like breaking down like exactly what happened, like the shit, what like everything went to shit like over the weekend, pretty much. And then
you know what I like about this, Perp, because now I could talk to you as a hardcore Walking Dead fan. I like the fact that, unlike Walking Dead, this actually gives explanations, but not stupid ones. They're actually ones you could see really happening. You know what I mean? As far as
but they definitely do take things from The Walking Dead that I've seen before. Like, there's little hints here and there, even with the whole Abby shit. That was the whole Negan stuff, like, But
yeah, and Neil Druckmann has stated before that he has drawn inspiration, but not from the show. He says more from
the comics.
From the comics. So,
which is nothing. There's nothing wrong with that, because before The Walking Dead, that was more paying homage to like that George A. Romero type of zombies and stuff, like kind of bringing that world to life and like living in that world and stuff. So
can we all agree that there is nothing wrong with drawing inspiration from something? Because
no,
I mean, essentially, look, how many different ways can you tell the same story?
No, we should definitely, none of us should ever be inspired. Stop.
But it's there's a difference between like taking something and putting your own flair to it and just or something just completely plagiarizing shit. Like that shit's not cool.
Yeah, like Digimon.
Very not cool. Yeah, that's plagiarism.
That is straight up plagiarism.
It's not plagiarism. Digimon only exists in the digital world.
Yeah, it's only digital Pokemon farming.
But I do feel like just with these 3 episodes, like I'm liking somewhat. It's just like I feel like it's a bit overhyped. You know what I'm saying? It's like I just feel like people are gonna get their expectations up. That it's the best adaptation until season 2 come out. And Abby show up and then everybody gonna flip on it. I see it coming already. I just see it coming.
With Digimon, you only get 1, not a team of 6.
I do like the way that it's shot though. It's like I always say it's like if Walking Dead had a budget. But I find it funny that like, HBO is trying to make it right because they passed on The Walking Dead because of it was too violent and shit, stupid ass fucking reasons.
I don't believe it was because it was too violent. Because if
they literally, you can literally look it up. You can literally look that up, bro. Like that's confirmed.
I believe they said that, but I don't believe that was the reason. Because if that was the case, they wouldn't have had look what came out even before.
That's what I'm saying. They're like fucking. That's fucking dumb as hell. Like I was like, you're HBO. Y'all should be like killing this shit. Like we shouldn't be getting more violence on fucking AMC than fucking HBO. Because like, what's up with like the lack of titties lately on like HBO programming? I've noticed that. I paid attention to it. Like we don't see that.
I don't think I want to see Apocalypse boobs.
No, we do want to see Apocalypse boobs.
They're gonna be showing you fungus covered boobs. Like,
well, you're going to see Abby get her back blown out. So you know what I'm saying? Like
that's not what I'm going to see. I'm going to see something else in the
UK. Okay. Talking about this one, I just think it was a great character piece. It really hit me in the feels. I didn't think I give them credit because I didn't think anyone could construct a great love story, let alone with two dudes. But it was really good stuff.
It didn't feel like their relationship really it was really believable. It's just like he pops up and then they're kissing. I was just like, okay, that's fucking weird.
That's totally believable, dude.
No, it's not.
You ain't gonna not take what you can get.
I am not. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. First off, I don't know you. You just came out of nowhere. You could be setting me up. He should be a little bit more on guard with that shit, or at least not be as trusting of him at first, and then they kind of grow into that, and then over that 20 years, whatever, you see that, you know what I'm saying, or 16 years or whatever the hell, you know what I'm saying. But it's just, I don't know. I just don't think the whole episode needed to be an hour and 20 minutes. That shit was just really dragging a lot of the times. Just like, okay.
I was like, okay, when are we jumping to the end here? What's happening? I was a little disappointed with the big battle scene. That's probably my biggest disappointment.
Yeah, you didn't really see nothing. That would have been cool to see them actually,
You saw a couple guys get lit on fire.
I would like to say too, I can't believe this, but I agree with the both of you. That in the game, that was much better.
Seemed very underwhelming.
Also, going back to the violence thing, I expected Tess to get ripped apart or something brutal to happen, not fucking get kissed, bro. That shit was so anticlimactic. I was like, what the fuck is this? This shit is a joke. I was like, oh, there's a bunch of zombies just running by you. And then one just sees you. I was like, oh, shit.
But that's canonical to the game because that's not how the infection... once you're infected, unless it's a clicker, they will... Their mission is to spread it, not kill the person.
That is fucking whack, bro.
No, that makes sense to live in organisms. You're not going to kill something that will potentially host.
No, that's like let's go to the Walking Dead. No.
The Walking Dead is zombies, not fungus.
It's still anyways, they're still the same.
Okay, what's the comparison you're gonna make with The Walking Dead? Or contrast?
No, I'm saying because they got they just introduced variants and stuff like that. But like I said, imagine if it's just like you had a bunch of walkers and they just don't bite you or nothing. Like it's just that's kind of just lame to me, bro. Like at least like be somewhat threatening. Be like, all right, like I understand there's levels to the shit, but it's like, come on, man. Like you got like what's the fucking like it just I don't know. That just is kind of corny to me. But that's just me speaking from somebody that's watched like tons of different like zombie shit. So that's kind of just dumb to me. And the clickers were cool. The clickers were cool. Um, I just wish I'd see more blood. I just want to see more violence. That's all. I just expect more violence. Like I want to see like because we hear how threatening this shit is. Like when she's in the beginning of episode 2, where she's like, "Oh, you better you start nuking this shit." Like I want to kind of see that, like just everything being chaotic and stuff, like people just getting fucked up, and you know what I'm saying, like make it feel like this place is like dangerous. I just don't feel like I'm not really getting that off these 3 episodes.
I mean, but to be fair, we're 3 episodes in. It's building.
And also one more thing, and if Ellie's like fucking immune and shit, like just have her as a shield, because that's not
that's what I was. Dude, I'd be like, Ellie's going first every time.
Every time.
Check it out, girl. You go check it out. She come out, she's covered in bites. Like, nah, man.
Yeah, it's just little nitpicks, but like I said, I know like little bits and pieces from the game and stuff like that, and I'm seeing like the different comparisons. I just needed to be a little bit more gritty.
Is it a 50-50 guess every time that they're going to like check something that they're checking for some type of zombie, or are they checking for some type of military or militia or somebody like that you would want Joel to go in first in that scenario, because then he can immediately start taking motherfuckers out?
Yeah.
I mean, I would think typically you're looking for clickers.
I'm gonna call it right now. I think from episode 4 on is where you're gonna see shit start to pick up, because I recognize that scene, and that's halfway through the game. So I'm guessing now this is where you're gonna see a lot more action, because as soon as I saw the preview, I go, oh, okay, now we're kicking it off, because they're jumping right to midpoint of the game.
Hopefully Joe can get his aim right, because he couldn't shoot that clicker for shit, yo. His aim was terrible.
Dude, I was saying. Okay, so that
he's supposed to be he's supposed to have a military background too, like.
Yeah, he was in Desert Storm, so it's like I was like, "Yo, man, you making us look bad." Like I'd have hit 3 perfect shots, right, center mass, like, and then bam, the shot to the head. But because that's just like the
and I'm not too sold on Ellie yet. I'm starting to warm up, but it's just like her face is like it's just like distracting as fuck.
Her
but like
face?
Yes, because it's like she don't look like Ellie at all. But
I mean, she does more this episode.
Oh no, she got the Jay Leno chin and shit, like that shit.
Okay.
Well, I always look at it. No, I look at it. No, I look at it this way, because I didn't watch the video game. I only ever seen bits here and there. And the first girl that they show, I was like, oh, well, that's obviously not Ellie. It's a little black girl, right? Like that's his daughter. Okay, move on. And then you get to the second girl who's walking in town. I was like, oh, is that? And I was like, that's not her either. That don't look like her. And then as soon as I seen this girl, before they said her name, I was like, oh, that must be Ellie right there. Yeah, it's not like perfect, but it's not awful.
Nah, that shit was not that. They could have done better. Like the people that they had, like, but before, like when they were supposed to make the movie, they were supposed to make a Last of Us movie. Like who I forget the one chick that they were supposed to get. I was like, damn, she looked just like fucking Ellie and shit, even older and stuff, like the older Ellie and stuff like that. But I don't know.
I like
it's just little
people who could act, because Bella Ramsey is a good actress.
Can she act though? She just be making the block hot. She's way too fucking loud, bro. I'm like, yo, everywhere we go, I don't care. I'm like, yo, I'm shutting that shit down. I'm like, yo, do not say a goddamn word. You say anything, I'm gonna blow your fucking head off. Like,
Like, dude, in the game, she used to talk at the most inopportune times. There would be times where I'd be doing a mission, and she would step on shit, and clickers would just like
No, she gotta
be
go.
on me, and
That's
I
what
was like,
that'd be like me. Like,
damn,
you know,
pure.
fuck. I'd be like, fuck this cure. You're on your own, girl. You know what I'm saying? You're on your own. You're immune, so you're good. I'm not.
but no, I thought overall though, I thought as an episode, as a way to tell a story, and to be honest, as a fan of the game who wanted more from the Bill storyline, because I'll be honest with you, I don't like the game version. I thought it was very rushed. We had no context for anything. And yeah, it's sad, but it didn't have the same impact. Playing it didn't. I played through it the other night. Like, it doesn't have the same weight, which is I am
You're
happy with
definitely in
the
the
episode.
minority with that.
Not really. I've seen the same thing from a bunch of other people who are fans of the game and YouTubers I trust, not the other subsection. But like, Cody Leach,
Yeah.
Chris Stuckman.
But seeing like in the game how Bill has an interaction with Ellie, that shit was funny as hell. Like they could have used like that could have been dope. That could have been a dope little scene, and I think it'd have been more impactful. Like, to let you know like how dark this world is. It's like, yo, you just see Frank just hanging right there, like, you know what I'm saying?
I get,
that'd be
like,
crazy. But I understand what they're going for. But one thing I think people should need to relax. Like, this is not the best fucking episode of television. Like, get off that shit. Like,
well, see, I don't know. I would say it was, as far as acting and storytelling. Like, yeah, I thought it was phenomenal. Like, dude,
it's okay.
Costello relationship like that. Yeah, though. Nick Offerman and I forgot the other dude's name, but they did a fucking amazing job.
Offerman.
No.
That's
no
what I meant to say. I've been saying it right. I got spirited with my point. But anyway.
Yeah, he makes that role dope, but it's just like, it's not it. Like, if anybody's like, I always bring this up, like, if anybody's seen The Leftovers, you're gonna get that all the time. Like, that's just hella depressing the whole fucking way through and shit. But I think it's an okay episode. I don't think it's like one of the best of like television. Like, that's a stretch, because there's a lot of television out here. So
I wouldn't say it was the best of television, but for me so far, I personally.
If you had no idea what was going on, and you just like turned on HBO on Sunday night, and you're like, "What the hell is this?" And you're like, "Oh, you could watch the entire episode and be like, this is a complete story. It's like a mini movie."
I would say, like, oh shit, they brought back real sex. HBO brought back real sex.
I was very confused by that scene. I was like, I don't understand how missionary works with two guys.
I'm not gonna lie. I skipped about a couple seconds of that.
So you're skipping now. You're skipping. I just looked away.
Yeah, dude. I used my imagination. In my head canon, it worked out better. But then I was like, oh god, no. I
put my Jesus goggles on real quick.
He's like, those boys are going to hell. They better open up that church in town.
But I like that. That's the highlight to me, how fast Bill was on that shit. As soon as the motherfuckers left, yo, he was on that shit. He went to the liquor store, went to Home Depot.
We were just talking. That was probably one of our top scenes there, where it was like, Bill did not fuck around, man. That is the dude you want to know when shit goes down, because he had that shit done quick. What? It was like a day or two. He already.
Yeah, I wouldn't even left that spot. That spot was pretty locked down.
I mean, but I get it though. Having more of a knowing your like neighborhood, like that would have been some Woodbury shit if he tried to get the whole like store and stuff. He would need more people to run an operation like that. But no, I thought it was a pretty good episode. Like, I get all the points, and at least you're saying stuff that makes sense. Like, yeah. I'm
trying to be as fair as possible, but like, I'm going to, like, anytime like some Walking Dead shit pops, I gotta make that comparison. Not saying it's like a bad comparison, but it's just like it just sticks out to me. Or just certain things like I'm used to seeing violence on HBO. I just don't know what's going on with these 3 episodes where it just feels very PG, like TV 14ish.
Kinda.
I mean, there was some violence in
Not
that
wrong with
first
that.
episode. Like,
I want to see like flesh being torn. Like I want to see gore. Like come on, like just give me some gore.
So I want
That's
to see
all I
some
ask for.
apocalyptic, like heads blown off.
Yes, like
I'm hoping if all goes well, and I'm gonna call that they're gonna adapt the ending pretty faithfully. Otherwise, this doesn't work at all. But I think that is where and two, you have to remember this is a pretty expensive show. If I was them, I would save a lot of that budget for like the last episode, so you get that punch, so
fuck no.
people go.
I get some ketchup from the store. You know what I'm saying? And put some fucking
Use a ketchup.
special and put some special effects on that shit. Because that's what Walking Dead did. They literally got fake blood and like corn syrup and like fucking barbecue sauce. Shit nasty, but
I mean, but not everyone has that. What's the special? Is it Frank Durbin, or was it who's the special effects guy?
Greg Nicotero.
Yeah, Greg Nicotero.
Yeah.
Not every production has Greg Nicotero. I mean, that
I
man's
wish
a
that
fucking
I
legend.
wish they would have got Greg Nicotero to do
Oh
like
man.
to do all the designs and stuff, like all the special effects. That'd be crazy.
But I will give it to them. As far as the writing goes, it's pretty top notch. This guy is clearly a great writer, and for all the shit people were talking, which I want to bring it back to because it always comes down to these discussions when we talk about adaptations. The source material, I will give them
You
credit. I want to talk about the inside of the episode for a second. Does anyone get the sense?
Oh, these are some of the best parts of the episodes.
Yes, that like these people respect. They blatantly come out and they're like, yeah, we know the game. We know everything inside and out. This is what we saw. This is what we did. And you could tell the respect. And the dude from Chernobyl, when I first watched Chernobyl, it struck me more as he was like,
fire.
Huh?
I said that shit's fire. Chernobyl's fire.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. But that writer struck me as a guy who would never do anything like this, but to hear the amount of respect he has and that he's excited to tackle the material and stuff.
I think he just heard dollar signs and say, "I got you, bro."
I mean,
I'll make it work. I'm gonna make this work.
Yeah, of course, but I don't get this feeling that it's just dollars. Just hearing people talk, like me and PB watched the Game of Thrones ones versus this, and everything they say in these interviews makes sense.
You know what they should do though to kind of deviate from the game, but to also keep people captivated. Because what I'm telling you, once they cast Abby, bro, it's game over, bro. But like they should really dive into those 20 years. Like have some of those seasons be like Joel before, like
Well, it was renewed for season 2, but there's no. I think they will do some stuff before that. I don't think they're going to jump right to. I think if you like, no matter what they do, as soon as people hear Abby, they're gonna be out. But at the same time, if they do something where they set her character up better, I think she could work. I even said in the game, in my review of that game, I said I wasn't pissed off as to what happened to the main character. I was pissed off as how they did it and how they made him look stupid in order to pull off what they did, because old Joel would have never fell for that trap. But the fact that they purposely dumbed down every character, and then the way they set it up, and then they try to go back and make you feel bad when they've already pissed you off in the first 15 minutes.
The way I took that information, I was just like, and just like all the things that I've heard about Joel, I was like, yeah, he probably deserved that shit. He's kind of a piece of shit, honestly. But
yeah, like if they keep the ending of this to what happens in the game, I'm really looking forward to having this talk. Maybe I'll have you back on to how you feel about Joel, because even in the Last of Us fan base, which I'm a part of, there's been this debate about whether or not Joel's a good guy. I fall on what the fuck is good in this world. You need morally gray people. Like, I don't think.
Tell me the situation first.
What?
Tell me the situation first, and then I'll tell you. I can't.
It'd be a big spoiler.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is you got to take each moment by moment and be like, I mean, it's like playing Mass Effect. He's picking good options and bad options.
You know what would have been better for the show? If they would have put all these episodes out at once. That's why I
do agree with that. I do agree. Like, this is the kind of show, and being that it's a slow burn in the beginning, this is where it helps to put them all out at once. But at the same time, I kind of find myself agreeing with PB's mindset, where it does keep the conversation going.
How though? But when the game's been re-released like 3 times already,
because not everything is verbatim from the game. Like, there's a lot.
They literally made 3 different versions of the game. They made the regular jump, the remaster, and then they just came out the remake. They milking the fuck out of this shit.
oh yeah. I was thinking about doing a video about that because it's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, but I do think it keeps the conversation going. It kind of gives me that feeling I used to have with Game of Thrones, where there's something to talk about from week to week, something to look forward to.
Oh, and this isn't something to look forward to.
And this is
not the X-Men. Not the X-Men.
Like, this is not like where it's going to be 13 episodes or something like that. I mean, it's 9 episodes. We're on episode 3, so we're moving right along here. So, but I think it's going to be interesting, and I especially can't wait for next week's discussion, because I think it's going to be really intriguing to see, because I believe this is now the jump-off point, and I've seen the...
Hope so.
Yeah, this is going to be the point where people are going to be like, oh, all right, we're in it now.
I want problems, always.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be, dude, like, when I saw that, I go, oh, I know what's coming, but I can't say it.
I want somebody to make, like, a zombie show or movie that, like, they make the zombies immortal. Like, they're, like, damn near immortal, where it's like, shooting them in the head does not work.
They did. It was called, what was that show on FX? The Strain.
That's vampires, bro.
No, it was like a.
Those were vampires.
It was
those
like
are parasitic vampires. They were vampires.
I'm just saying though, that was pretty close.
Hey, can we kill this whole? Can we kill this whole, like, yo? People are telling me like these shits aren't zombies. I was like, yo, when they think of The Last of Us, what genre are they gonna put that shit in? The zombie genre.
It's a zombie. It's a zombie. It's a zombie. Parasect is a zombie.
They're not, like I said.
Zombie doesn't mean that you're necessarily a living dead person.
Because you're being reanimated.
That would make vampires zombies, if that's your definition. And they're not.
I mean, in a sense, I call them zombies anyways because it's just easier. But if we look up the definition of zombie, they're not in control of their functions, right? They don't have control over what they're doing. They're being driven by an outside force.
Yeah, they're zombies.
Zombies.
Straight up zombies. If people are questioning whether or not
that's what I'm saying.
That's weird.
It's just like you could call them infected. You know what I'm saying? This isn't wrong, but they're still they're going to still be categorized as like zombies.
No, right.
You know?
Like,
they're just not going to be a traditional eat brain zombies, because that's how they originally first was. Like, oh, brains. So you know what I'm saying? But they're not like,
you can give them whatever distinction you want in the show for your particular show. I don't care. All of the shows that are like this are zombie shows. So.
It's just like with 28 Days Later, when people are like, oh no, those aren't zombies. Yeah, they are. They're just zombies that run really fucking fast.
And if that blood gets in you, you're infected. You're a zombie.
And
now.
I had this. Oh my god, I'm so glad I'm on the panel with.
Like She-Hulk. She-Hulk's a zombie then.
I mean, no. She-Hulk wouldn't be a zombie because she still has control over.
She would have died. Does she though? I watched all of it. Does she have control?
But Bruce, I would consider being close.
It's not like she's Emil. Emil has control. He was just doing it for the money.
I mean,
I don't know the problem you had with that. The series finale of that show was fucking hilarious. I laughed all the way through. It was amazing.
I fucking hated that show.
It was amazing. Oh my god!
Congratulations, Velma. You made me.
I need you to break the tie real quick.
I look back at
What's
that other video and I'm almost like gonna go on and be like, I'm sorry to the creators of She-Hulk.
Zod hates She-Hulk with the fiery passion of 1,000 suns, and I thought it was
man, we saw that. We saw that.
I thought it was hilarious.
You and me. I
like some green booty jiggling. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shit.
Oh, what a fucking point! Like, don't get me started on this. I already went with.
That was better than episode. That was episode 3 of She-Hulk was better than episode 3 of Last of Us.
Oh, you're fucking.
I'd rather watch.
What was episode 3?
Hold on, PB. So hold on, Zod. So you'd rather watch two men kiss than watch a big green chick twerk?
All day.
Okay, that's a lot. Somebody clip that.
Dude, I'd rather fucking watch Brokeback Mountain than watch that fucking episode again. And that's two dudes fucking in a tent. So, no, I fucking hated She-Hulk. There was 2 episodes I liked that I would say were the best of the season. The one with the immortal guy who kept on killing himself and tried to kill himself to get away from his wife. But then she sued him. That shit was hilarious. I'll give it to him. That was pretty funny. And the one with Daredevil. That was good. I don't care what anyone says. Like, hey,
there was 2 episodes of Daredevil.
I understand. If you have a chance to get with She-Hulk, look, I didn't get that argument. They were like, oh, Daredevil is a cuck. He got with She-Hulk. Is he though? Is he?
Bro, he be smashing all these chicks.
Like, did you watch the Daredevil series? He's a bit of a whore. He's fucked a lot of women for a blind guy. Like, he fucked Elektra. He fucked the redheaded chick. He fucked She-Hulk. Like, I'm curious who Daredevil hasn't fucked and how the fuck he is fucking because he can't see shit.
He can still feel it though.
I mean, and he does have that.
Moisture.
Okay, we're going away. But anyways, my point is, you know what? I wasn't one of the people hating on the episode about that. I was like, you know what? Good for you, Matt. The only thing that made sense in that whole fucking show was when those two hooked up, because I was like, yeah, like, I never thought she was ugly. I just don't fucking like the writing. like, yeah, you know, She-Hulk, not She-Hulk, pretty good looking woman there. Like, you know, I'm not gonna be like, oh my god.
So back to The Last of Us. The Last of Us. The Last of Us.
But no, but no, I thought this was a very good episode. I'm just gonna go down the line of what our rating is. Favorite moment.
Carrie says, perp. You're talking to the guy with a Nick Cage shrine and who needs issue to watch anything with Nick in it.
Yeah, that sounds a little bi-curious.
Hey, I'm comfortable.
I'm sure you are.
Well, I'm comfortable. I ain't got no. I'm sorry. I don't got. Hey, I'm comfortable with who I am. I don't got no issues with admitting anything. But anyways, I thought this was a pretty good show. So I'm gonna get your guys' like favorite moments, least favorite moment, and then rating, and then we'll start wrapping it up. So PB, what was your favorite moment, and then your least favorite moment?
Favorite moment was the conversation at dinner.
Oh god! Oh yeah. That's
you get a gun out of my face. And I was like, so they did have a relationship. Lunch. Oh yeah, the lunch. Sorry, the lunch with the 4 of them outside. I'm gonna take you in the house and show you this. Not in the house. No! Fucking hilarious. I was laughing my ass off. I was like, this is something you can laugh about in the apocalypse. And that, I mean, my least favorite. Like, I was hoping for more from the big battle, especially after they foreshadowed it. And I was like, okay, well, they're gonna have like, I don't know, 20, 25 guys, something like that. Like, it's gonna be a little force people, and they're gonna get inside the fence at least. They didn't even get inside the fence.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Perp, your favorite moment and then least favorite moment.
I like the whole Bill, not Bill, Joel and Ellie, walking, him explaining like, yeah, don't be eating the pancake mix and stuff. You might get fucked. And you know, I like the scene where Bill was just get right to the shit. He had a basement under his basement. That's a smart guy. That's a smart guy.
The basement under the basement.
The least favorite shit is all that whole Bill and Frank shit. They could have cut that shit, like cut 20 minutes off of it. You probably would have got a better rounded off episode. I'd score it like 6.999.
Oh my god. This guy.
Jesus Christ. Well, so leaning more towards a 7 though than a 5.
Yeah, it's a solid 7, so it's trash, yo. Nah, I'll give it a solid 7. It's not the greatest fucking shit. People need to watch more television, bro. That's when people say shit like that.
This episode was no.
I could probably find better episodes of Battlestar Galactica than this shit.
Oh, but see, that's my yeah. We gotta talk, dude. Battlestar.
I never watched that in my life, but
bro, when Bro goes, I'm getting my men off of that ship. I will always remember that. Oh, what's his name? I forget the actor. I'll think of it later. But yeah, man, General Adama was no fucking joke. But anyways, PV, what would be your scoring being that?
Oh, it's like, okay, how much did it drop off from the previous episode? Because it's definitely a little bit of a drop off, even though with how much I liked it. Like, Perp is 100% right that once you got to, like, the end of the, the end of the second act, right? Would that be the end of the siege?
Yep.
Right after that, I thought it was gonna, like, speed along or jump back to now or something like that, and it drags. It drags for like 15 to 20 minutes, and you're like, okay, yeah, I get it. He's dying in his wheelchair. I fucking get it. Like, we're supposed to feel sad because you got shot, and then we come back, and then all of a sudden the other one's in the wheelchair, and you're like, oh, what happened? It's like, okay, it's ALS, right? ALS?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they got that there.
Yeah.
ALS is
go away.
Whoa. ALS is a genetic disorder.
Yeah, so I
thought the ice bucket challenge, gets rid of that. I thought that's how it works.
People do not know how to do the ice bucket. Oh my god! Don't get me fucking started on this dumb fucking ice bucket.
That's one thing I do pay attention to is to make sure that there's no cars that are newer than 03. Sometimes I'll be like, yo, that's definitely not an 03 car there, but but that's little nitpicks.
So, what the fuck did you just say before? I completely lost my train of thought in anger.
So, rating, what are you giving it?
I would go with let's go 7.5.
All right, well, favorite scene for me would have to be...
No, stop. Do your
11 out of 10.
No. Do your least favorite first, and then you can end on a high note.
My least favorite scene would be the bedroom scene. Like, I can't believe no one in this panel picked that. I'm sorry, I had to skip past that. Look, happy for gay representation.
Put my Jesus goggles on. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what I see. Like, I didn't see that part.
I skipped it. I don't even know how much they showed. I just know
I told God
I skipped. They were to the next day. I don't know what happened in between there. I seen enough of that from Game of Thrones, so I don't need like a refresher. Game of Thrones already coined every kind of sex you could have in the world of Westeros, so I'm good. But I will say,
ain't fucking no animals yet.
That was probably my least favorite, and I agree with PB. The battle with the people rating, I think there could have been, and I'll even side with Perp a little bit. This was a good opportunity to have people in there.
It's a good idea. That will solve your racism.
No, because he's just got a point. This was a moment where you could have shown people getting their heads blown off because he had a hunting rifle, right? And he shot a couple of the people, but they like cut away, and it's
show Bill going to work and then like not getting like distracted and getting shot.
yeah, like, and that would have been more effective too, because then you could have shown him like really kicking ass, and then Frank comes out, he gets distracted, gets the gunshot. It still all works.
Honestly,
I think they could have put more
in that moment when that fire stuff was going on. They should have killed Frank right there. That would have been, you know what I'm saying? He's got rid of it, but then like he ends up getting shot, and then it just comes this emotional moment. They're both crying, weeping, and then that makes him more bitter. You know what I'm saying? So the next time him and Joel cross paths, you could have still done that shit from the game. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, that could have been a good way to introduce that. But I mean, just as a whole, that moment could have been more epic to kind of replace what you do in the game, because in the game you go through the traps, there's clickers and stuff, and you're trying to lure them into the traps and then get to Bill, and then Bill saves Ellie and Joel. Like, that was the game's thing. So they didn't have to do that set piece exactly, but they could have done something similar to it. Even if you wanted to show humans and the breakdown in these raiders, it would have fleshed out the threat that other people are. And making the comparison to Walking Dead, like, you always got the nervous feeling in the Walking Dead when you saw a group, because you're like, oh man, the last 3 groups Rick ran into were douchebags. So
you always ask him like, how many walkers have you killed? How many people have you killed? It was important information.
Not enough.
So I do agree, like, that could have been fleshed out better. My favorite moment, and this might shock a lot of people, but I'm sorry, I'm a drama whore. I would like to say that my favorite, and probably the one that got me, just because I haven't teared up for something in such a long time.
Ellie getting tampons.
No, oh no, God, oh, bro. Anyways, god damn it, Perp. No, I was just like, when I seen that scene, I was just like, makes sense. Anyway. So like, I'd be on a kind of a run, but anyways, it really choked me up was the letter and the final dinner. I think that was, to me, yes, you could have shaved it off or whatever, but I think it was just a great scene, and I think it really showed Nick Offerman's range as an actor, and I think that it to me made that relationship kind of real, and it really hit home, because I was like, man, like, if I was in that situation and I go, yeah, I'd probably do the same thing. Like, it's that feeling of having someone you really love, and like, yeah, you're not going to let them go alone. And like, if they're not in this already shitty, fucked up apocalypse world with you, then what the fuck is the point? You know? And that whole thing also hit me too, because I'm getting older, and with age, we're all getting older here on this panel, but the whole feeling like,
I'm getting younger.
Ah, fuck off. It's like that feeling of he lived his life and fulfilled his purpose. And I think it was also a good jump off point to get Joel motivated to be the person he needs to be, and just the way that they kind of connected to what they started in the first 2 episodes with, like, Joel needs to look out for Ellie. He needs to be a little bit more active, and he
needs a whoop her ass.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, he doesn't need an ass whooping, but but at the same time, no, they need to kind of build this dynamic, because they're going to go through a lot of shit, especially, like, we'll get there to the next week. I'm actually going to do predictions, because I want to see what you guys predict. I already think I know exactly how that's going to play out. But anyways, but I think that it was one of the best same-sex relationships I've seen put to screen, just honestly, hands down.
Better than Brokeback Mountain?
Nah, man, you're talking about a home movie, and there's a lot of themes, and at that time that came out, a lot of movies.
I didn't watch Brokeback Mountain. I didn't watch Brokeback Mountain. You just fell into a trap. So.
No, I did. I admit it. I don't care. That was a good ass movie. I don't care who asked me, you know what? All that was just like watching a romance movie, but with dudes. And no, I didn't watch the 10th scene. I skipped past that shit
Bromance.
because, yeah, you're like, yeah, it. No, because I don't want to see rough sex. Like they
You
show
catch that,
way
Perp?
too much. Nah, man, like that's not the same, anyways.
Double standards are real.
Hey, at least I admit it. Anyways, but no, I think it was, and people talk so much shit about the force representation and everything like that, and I think this is how you tell that story well without making like shoving it in people's faces. Like this was just a story about two people who found each other, fell in love,
Kinda
spent their
did.
lives together, and died. And it was kind of showing the other coin of the way the world could be. Like, even though the world's falling apart, you can still find something to hold on to. Whereas Joel, being this volatile person and having Tess, I don't think he realized how important that was until he lost her. So the themes all connect back. And I think that it made a nice little full circle moment. And the stinger was when he specifically said, protect Tess, be with her. That's what's important. And he's just looking at that letter like, man, fuck that one up. Like,
Hey,
whoopsie,
I like that he
dropped the
puts his
ball.
foot down. He puts his foot down. Like, yo, don't mention her name. Don't mention
Three
the dead homie
rules.
name.
3 rules. In fact, we can
Don't.
just keep our backstories to ourselves.
Yes, I think it, and I think this really sets up for something good. So predictions, because I saw, at least I saw at the end of the
Death
episode,
and
some of that.
I
destruction.
predict. Get this right. I predict that the main characters will not die.
Good prediction. Solid, solid,
Ooh,
strong,
bold.
strong predict.
Yes.
That's a bold statement.
I am
Uh,
subverting expectations. Yes.
Phoebe, what do you think is going to
I don't
happen
know. I'm hoping next episode that we get a flashback of some zombies fucking some shit up in 2000.
I want
I
to
want
see
to see more
bombs
of
being
that.
dropped, bro. I want to see the bombs drop, bro. Like when she said, like, "Yo, you might as well start dropping them shits now."
And
Like,
they dropped the bombs. That was
Just give me
like,
a couple hours.
that was
you should
like,
play like the what's that song they played in GTA 3 in the commercial? You should just have bombs going off and just having that music like some opera music playing off and just people just running mad and just chaos everywhere. I want to see that shit.
yeah, I would, dude, I'd be down for a flashback like that. Really hit home, because the guy from Chernobyl can do it. You saw that, we both saw that series, man. He showed that shit in like horrific. That made you go, like, I knew it was bad, but he didn't pull punches in that series. You were like, oh man, shit was real. Like people's fleshes were melted off, and oh my god, like that show will seriously make you like go, man, Russia, you're fucking up. Like
Mm.
you're like, stop losing your nukes and fucking take care of your nuclear facilities better. But anyways, yeah, that'll do it here. I think we had a really good discussion. I love getting different points of views. I mean, for me, this episode, I fall about the same as you guys. I'd say this was a 7. Um, it wasn't by all means, at least to me, bad, but for all the reasons we stated, like it was very slow building. The performances were great, but there is a thing where you could go too much with performance. Like we need action too. We need some violence. This is HBO. Come on, man. We need heads exploding. We need
Come
some
on, this is America. Let's just get violent. Stop all this
like we
pussy
need
shit, bro. Like, get some gore, nice little
dude,
gore.
don't
Like,
let Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey be more violent
like
than you. Come on.
When Joel was punching the shit out of that guard, we should have seen blood. Like as soon as all like it should have been like in unison with the fucking lightning strikes and stuff. Like and you see blood on his hands and he fucking this dude's face up and shit like that. Been fucking yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I do think that Perp has some pretty valid points, and thank you, Perp, for saying stuff that actually makes sense and not these illogical things. We can all agree that the gay people in the episode isn't the worst part. Oh my God, there's gays falling in love. They're turning the water gay. The frogs are turning the water gay.
I think that's what Alex Jones was talking about, yo. This is the fungus and shit. And,
See, Alex Jones called this. He knew. He knew. He knows this is how the world. Yep, he's been calling it for years.
But what I think that's interesting about this, where they set this off, like this is before social media really like boomed and stuff. So like they don't even have that. They're not really like beholden to like technology and stuff. And Ellie's just like at all like it just being in a car. Like
you're on a plane. It's like a spaceship in here.
Yeah, like with the car, it's like, and I think the little things like that. Like
how did she not know? Wait a second, nitpick. How does she know what Mortal Kombat is? Did somebody really describe it to her in that much detail?
Yeah, it was in the DLC.
Okay.
It's like, I like it because they put a little Easter eggs in for us, like hardcore fans. It was in the DLC. She runs into an arcade. I don't want to give away too much.
I was like, she must have had one hell of a story if she could say what she said about it and like never had a chance to ever play.
Yeah.
But what you said about that whole, those not like clicker things, whatever, just not biting people, they just go around infecting people. That shit is whack, bro. Change that. That's one thing you should change. Make them aggressive. Be
No, they're aggressive, and I think we're gonna get some seeds, but
I don't want to see nobody.
They are definitely. I get a feeling like it's not that this.
Oh, he's got a feeling. Oh my God.
Or not well paced. I think that it's. I can really feel where they're keeping that budget. Again. They're like, I don't know if you guys got the same feeling, but it almost feels like they're like.
I don't got spider
Oh my God.
Like you get that sense that they're saving the bulk of the budget for those last episodes. Where
I'll let it slide because you said sense instead of feel.
Spider sense is going crazy, but yeah, all in all, I really enjoyed this. This is by no means saying, because you get those people that go like, 7, that's bullshit. This is an excellent masterpiece. I already said 7.
Oh, you did?
That's a masterpiece too.
I rated it the highest? That don't seem right.
Nah, it's not gives it 8.
I said 7.5.
I'm changing the score. It gives it 8.
I can't believe that I got the highest score here. I mean, that means the average score is like, what, 7.1 or 2 or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good character piece, good character story. I liked a lot of things, but like you guys said, it's the action that...
It's 5 divided by 3.
Wait, what?
What's 5 divided by 3?
You're asking me? Shit.
Yeah. It's 5.1 something. Or 7.1, sorry.
But,
he be the scientist.
It's not a bad episode, but they could most definitely do better.
Yeah, and you know what? It's fine, because every television show ever has episodes that are better than others. You can have an episode. Not every episode is going to be a banger. We could have these episodes just as long.
Yeah, not every show could be like AOT. Not every show could be AOT where they just...
What do you mean not every episode can be a banger? I see Kylo Ren on the internet with his YouTube channel, Tim Talks, and it says, The Last of Us Episode 3 banger.
Well, like I said, it's very interesting to see the wide array, but a lot of people like it. So, hey, you know what? I'm just glad that people are loving it, because that means we get to see more in this world, and people who never played the game are actually enjoying this. So I think this is a good gateway into creating good content for
not only a good gateway, but like for people that are on the fence about horror, you know what I'm saying? Because people want to be flip-floppy about shit. Like, I like horror, but you're going to watch The Last of Us and shit. Like, watch more horror.
Yeah, and guess what, folks? Last of Us is classified as survival. Wait for it. Horror.
Zombie.
Horror.
It's a survival horror game. That's literally the listing. Go on Steam. Go on PlayStation Store. You have to look it up in the subheading of survival horror. Guess what it's next to? Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Last of Us, they're all in the same fucking grouping. Yeah.
I hope we see one of those mutated, like as predictions for like future episodes. I hope we do see one, like a super mutated one, just rip somebody apart. That would make me so happy.
I don't want to spoil it, but I did hear someone who saw the whole season saying that there's definitely episode 3 is the midway point, and then there's an uptick, and then you start seeing a lot of shit. So clearly they're holding their cards because they want to wow you. And you know what? We've seen a lot of shows. I think it is a smart strategy to keep some of this stuff on the back end. To be perfectly honest,
no.
Like, don't play all your cards right away.
You don't have no. But like I said, like you could still have that balance. Like, don't cut away from shit when you see motherfuckers get bit or like some shit. Don't cut away from that or not even show no blood. Like that shit with Tess. Like we didn't even see her get bit. She should like
no, but that happened in the game too. I understood the point of that.
But that'd been cool. That'd been a cool way to say like, all right, we see how big a threat these motherfuckers are. Like, don't let them bite. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. Like they were really effective. But I was just like, I want to see them tear some shit up. Like I want to see them like murder somebody or delete somebody. You know, unearth them.
Who wants to delete somebody?
I want problems always.
But this has been a great panel, great discussion. I'm gonna start wrapping it up. Because we've gone through all the points. Hopefully, I can get the somewhat the same panel for the next episode, and we can all talk about. Because I can't wait.
Maybe I don't know. Like you might have to like it's gonna if you try doing it this time of day, it's gonna be like almost 3 in the morning.
You got me at a lucky time. You know what I'm saying? You might not see me for another 5 months.
Let's wish Mr. PB safe travels. He will be going away.
Down the street?
No, out of the country.
Oh, where you going? You going to Canada?
Well, I got to stop in Canada on my way to England.
Be careful of those Canadian lumberjacks.
The ones that are the faux maple syrup sellers?
Yes, they're the incest and all that. Like, they're the hillbillies. But Canadian, they're much worse.
No, I'm pretty sure I just got to stop in Toronto for a couple hours and then get on another flight. So get on the flight and leave again.
Say hi to Rocky and Bullwinkle for me, too. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they're Canadian.
I'll tell a couple of Mounties, too. I'm only going to be this. I'm not even leaving the airport. That's not the destination. It's just a temporary stop to go to England.
Oh, you're going to England?
Yeah.
You're going across the pond. You didn't say that. You said you were going to Canada.
Oh my God! I said I had to stop in Canada on my way to England.
He did say he had to stop at Canada on his
way. You're going to England? Yeah, be careful, man. They got hostels out there, man. I've seen the movies.
I'm not staying in a hostel. I'm staying with a pretty lady.
Okay, man.
Maybe it is a hostel. I don't know. I don't know how she operates her flat. Maybe, just maybe.
Flats.
There's more going on there than what I'm sure. Look, I even told her that I expect to only come back with 1 kidney anyways, so it's fine.
But join us next week for.
She's not even laughing.
This is going to be on Morning Kills. I just saw it during the time I would normally do Morning Kills, but don't forget to watch every Monday morning. I do Morning Kills where I talk nothing but horror. Or for now, I've been doing reviews of Last of Us, but I will be also touching on some big horror news that's coming up. Maybe because there's a uber horror fan, Perp can show up for his first ever podcast.
I'm not a morning person. Not a morning person.
Dude, it's 11.
That's the morning, bro. I'm not up to. I'm up at 12, bro. I'm up at 12 because I gotta be working. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a morning person. Like 6 to, yeah. Even 12 is still.
I'm not a morning person, but if the job requires you to be up in the morning, you get to go to bed a little earlier at night. It's fine.
Yeah, man.
I'm a vampire.
There's lots of daylight hours in the summertime that need to be filled with activities like selling strawberries.
So
That's what they
everybody
call
check
them.
out Mondays.
Oh,
I
yeah.
will have morning kills. I'm going to also be doing a review on one of my most anticipated movies coming out this week, which is Knock at the Cabin Door. Can't fucking wait. I just found out it got an R rating. So is this going to be a redemption for M.
Correction.
Night Shyamalan?
Correction. Knock at the cabin. Not knock at the cabin door. So.
Whatever. Knock at the cabin. Knock in the cabin. There's a cabin. There's Batista. There's an apocalypse.
And there's the door.
And there's a door. So I am super excited about this. Perp, maybe if you're so inclined, we could do a little joint review. See if M. Night Shyamalan.
This might be better. This might be better than episode 3 of The Last of Us. So
can you imagine, just for a moment, just like sit here? You could even close your eyes if that helps you. People in the crowd as well, and just imagine for a moment what the beautiful movie palette will look like for that one. And at moviepalette.com, you can get excellent, colorful art for your favorite movies. And you can get a discount by inputting code ZONE15 to get 15% off on top of any existing sales. And it helps your favorite YouTube villain.
And thank you, moviepalette.com, for sponsoring this and subsequent videos. I appreciate you and look forward to this new year of hopefully turning a nice profit so we can get that studio, hey?
Hey!
We're really professional, so we can have Perp's disembodied voice in a studio.
disembodied voice. So I'm going to be dead. Okay.
He's gonna be just a purple thing. It'll be like, okay, let's show Perp, and it'll just be the Perp 23 sitting in a chair.
Yes.
But thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. Go check out Pop Culture PV and his channel. All great content. He's got some funny shorts. They're literally just like jokes and shit.
Not right now. I have pants on right now, but it's okay.
And go check out Perp, because as much as me and Perp go back and forth, Perp is one of the
Hold on, sir. I got it, sir. Hold on. Yeah, I just did this little interesting video on TikTok, like kind of like a semi, I guess, like a 2-minute like commentary talking about Hank from Demons 2. That dude is
interesting.
Yeah, that you can find that on my Twitter. That link for that video. That shit's funny. Like the story of Hank. That shit's funny. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out, and go check out all of Perp's great content, and also go check him out on Twitter because he's got some links to other stuff you might enjoy. He's got some hot takes that he likes throwing out there, some spicy stuff to people who like to make really stupid and ridiculous comments. It's hilarious. So definitely go check that out. So thank you everybody for watching. Really appreciate it. And
thank you.
Make HBO great again.
For you.